friends, this is Michael, and I want to welcome you back to my YouTube channel. And what I want to share today is I completed a PhD. I'm so excited. Now, many of you think PhD and you think that's an academic program, but for me, it's projects half done. And I want to share with you the project half done that I completed this week. And this was the virtual card retreat that Stampin' Up hosted in January. And the great part about it is it's all on replay. So I had done a few cards over the time, but I really needed to come together and finish some of the cards. And actually, as I'm looking at this, I have sent a few of the cards that I did early on. So I'm going to walk through this just really briefly with you and show you these cards one by one and tell you what I learned from what we made, because there were so many different techniques to making these cards. So let's do this really quickly. We got a stamp set and die cut that were released in, I believe, the March online exclusives. I might be wrong about that. Then we also got exclusive. This one here, we used the background die and we only used part of it. I actually did not follow instructions very well, and so mine looks different from the original one. We colored the die with some of the stamps and added colored flowers as well. And then I don't know if you can see it, but this one we actually stitched with the linen thread in little places to hold it down, you might say. Didn't really need it, but it's a fun little technique to learn and to remember for a time when you might need that. Now this is a card we made, and what stands out to me about this card is not just the fun fold, which is very fun, but this paper here, we colored the background of it. So it was a black and white drawn print. You can see we have a piece in here, and we used the cloud cover ink, and we colored the background, leaving the flowers white, and then added color to the leaves and the center. It was such a fun technique, and I'm really looking forward to doing something like this with the current artisan sketch paper, because I think that will turn out really well. Now, one of the things they also did was show us different ways to decorate our envelopes. And I don't have all the envelopes here, but you can see this is one of the envelopes that we decorated. And this one here, we had a stencil of hearts, and we created this ombre look using different colors to create and stencil this background here. See, this one here also has an envelope. These are some of the stamps that we had, and they matched the die cuts as well. And this one I also did not follow directions, and I ended up stamping on the actual die cuts where there is actually a stamp and then a die cut, which you hook onto here. Anyway, all turned out great and looks good. This one, we also kind of created our own design paper by adding stamps here and there in that patterned paper. And then look how this one opens. You've got a tab here that opens up this way, and this is hooked on the back and has a closure kind of like that. I thought that was really, really fun. This was one of the early ones I did. This is that paper with the background not colored, but here we colored the center and the leaves and the little flowers. We used part of our die cut here to decorate this frame, and then we wrapped a little bit of that linen thread on there. And many of these are embossed, heat embossed, which was really fun because I had said I wanted to do more heat embossing this year, which I have done. Now this one, when you open it up, you've got flip flaps on the inside. So this is a really fun card. It's got a lot of interaction and a fun fold style, but with an easy adding the flip flaps there. And this one here is another one with a flip flap. It's a 3x3 flip flap. It's scored and made a little bit shorter. And this is what inspired me to do a flip flap card for my make and take at the expo this year. We created our own shakers in this shaker card by heat embossing a full sheet of paper with gold. And then we die cut out these little gold pieces, which are kind of hard to see. And then along with these white pieces and put that in there. And then this is also another large sheet behind here of heat embossed gold. And that created a background and these stripes here. Just a really fun card. I really enjoyed this one. Another envelope to go with this card. This is one full image here. And what we did was we stamped it, we colored it, and then we cut it in half so that half would go along the edge here and half would go along the edge there. And it really makes a fun look to that card. The green leaves here that we die cut kind of bring them together. And then this also has the twine. It looks like it's suspending this piece, which I actually glued down a little bit, but it comes down here, wraps around, and then you've got this bow, and it just gives it a fun little look to that. The other thing we did back here was we used the cloud cover ink pen and we just drew stripes on this. And so it turns out darker, but it is subtle also, and you get that stripe look on just a berry burst piece of paper. Now this one was really fun as well. I really looked forward to making this one. What we did here was we had these die cut labels, and a whole label is what you see behind here. We heat embossed in the clear embossing powder, and then we also stamped on these here with, there's a background stamp that came with it, and so it makes this easy background. And then we cut the crumb cake ones in half, layered them on the other half of these different colors, and you get this really fun detailed look with the polka dots on here as well as the background here. And I just feel like this one makes a really nice masculine card, and I will definitely be repeating this technique with even just paper and not necessarily the heat embossing. This one here, they gave us some die cuts, and that's where all these little flowers came from, but we saved that, and then by putting strips of paper behind it, we have a nice background and another card that we can make, wrapped the twine around it. This one here was very fun and interesting to make as well. It's hard to explain, but we used this side of the card, we die cut with a partial full card die cut, flipped it over, and we had an adhesive sheet on the back so it would lay on top of this pink. And this pink we had stamped on, random stamped on, which is hard to see, but when you're up close, you can see that. So this kind of created that mesh and lace look behind there. And then over here on this, we decorated the inside with a mirror to that label there. Also is really fun is to add texture to these green flowers and leaves. We use that same background stamp that I used here and stamped on there. And it just gives it enough of a texture and touch that it looks really fun. I'm gonna do this one next. This one, I'm not sure was my favorite. It was a really fun concept to do, and I find that it's a very masculine one. It wasn't hard to do, but it was just a little tedious for me. But I'm so glad I tried it because you get the opportunity to try things and see what you like and what you don't like. These strips were heat embossed with silver embossing powder. Also this with silver embossing powder. The green was that same paper, and this time we added that background stamp to it. And then these here are just teeny tiny pieces of white cardstock. And then even smaller is that thread. So I'm really glad that I put this together and I followed through with it. And then here is the inside of that card. So I do like that they often brought the design, the front design in. And then this is last but not least. I think this was even the last one that I did. This is just white on white, and we distressed the edges with our scissors. This is some designer series paper. And then this was one of the die cuts that they gave us. We just punched out the little circles, and then we took the different colors of paper and wove them through. And then this is what was really fun for me. And I don't know if you can see the details of this. We did little cross stitches on some of these spaces with that linen thread. And again, I don't know that that's something I would have ever thought to do, but it was really fun to do and actually easy to do. And I really like the results. So there's my PhD. I hope that you can celebrate with me. And I encourage you to also look at maybe a project half done or a PhD that's in your stamping room or bin or whatever. And you can put it together and you will feel so good about getting it done. If you're interested in doing a virtual card retreat like this one is still available. It's on the last chance set. And then there is going to be another one in early October 2026 around World Card Making Day. And I hope to do that and gather people together so that we can work on it together. Thank you for stopping by. And if you like what you see here on my channel, please subscribe, hit like, and maybe even share it with a friend.